Hey guys, Legion here and welcome to 5 more insane Jurassic World Evolution 2 build hacks. I've already made a first part of this which you can check out at the end after this one. So yeah, here's 5 more build hacks, but before I show them, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you love Jurassic World Evolution 2. Let's go! So let's start off with a trick how you can build ships in Jurassic World Evolution 2. First, you want to just remove an area inside of the water where you want to place your ship. Now the next step is to use path to create the shape of the ship you want to build. Now that that's done, I'm gonna pick some kind of decoration. For example, right now I will go with the concrete barrier and line the whole ship from the outside. Now that that's done, I decided to remove some of the area right here in the middle of the ship, and that is so we can place down some of these what do you call them, the energy masts, the power masts. This is really just to get a lot of height into the whole build right here. Now it's basically time to add details. This is, for example, easily achieved by using a lot of these decorations right here in the sort of facility tab. And one of the decorations I like to use is this roof piece right here, which you can use to create, you know, like a roof at the back of the ship. Just like this. And now you have a roofed area right here at the back of the ship. And then you can also take, for example, some containers and create some area right here. And these aren't supposed to be containers, actually they're just supposed to be some structures on the ship. And, you know, just trying to create a convincing look of a ship right here. At this point you can basically place down any kind of decoration you want, just to make the ship look a little bit more like an actual ship and make it look a little bit more alive. And now that we have successfully decorated the whole entire ship, we're just gonna take the water brush again and get it as close as we can to the whole ship. This is gonna take a bit of trial and error. Basically just want to take the water brush, click it right here on the water and then drag it onto the ship and just do this as much as you think will actually still affect anything. I think right here we're actually done. This is as close as we will be able to get it. And then to blend it in further with the rest of the ocean, you're either gonna use this brush right here or maybe even this brush right here. Depending on the map of course, but I'm gonna use this stone brush right here, and now we have created a ship right here in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now this can of course be used to create a ton more different kinds of ships. For example, this smaller fisher boat I just created. Or this ship that I think is quite a nice idea because it's sort of supposed to resemble a ship that the guests would use maybe to enter the park via a dock. If you want to build a dock for your park entrance, like the guests actually used in the Jurassic World movie, where they have to arrive to the park on this kind of ship and to actually, you know, get there because it's an island. Now the next tip is something I see a lot of people struggling with and, you know, taking issue with and not really knowing how to solve, and it's a pretty typical problem when it comes to park building for many people, and that is the ziplines. And because many times when you create a zipline, the zipline actually becomes pretty tall. It looks very weird in your park, but there's actually a solution that I found to sort of try and mitigate that issue, and that is to use the monorail track right next to the actual zip line right here, and that does multiple things. First of all, it can actually just look like some kind of oh, this is not what I was meant to do. I'm just gonna move this a little bit further away right now. And now you have a pretty tall tower right here for the zip line, and it basically creates sort of a structure-ish thing maybe. So this is like a bridge thing, this is like a big archway, and this is like a bigger tower, and it basically helps to blend in the whole huge monorail, because if you compare it to, for example, the trees in this game, they're not really as tall as the monorail, as tall as the zip line, but they are closer to the height of the monorail, and just helps to blend in the whole height of these different objects between the huge monorail, the still pretty big, the huge zipline, the still pretty big monorail, and then also the rest of the trees in the game that you're gonna have standing around in your park, and it's just gonna help to hide this monorail. I think that's a really useful tip, and I hope I can help out a lot of people in their parks when they, for example, have an issue with a huge zipline like this. Now we have a really simple but rather effective trick that I came up with quite a while ago, but I think it can add a lot of atmosphere and just a lot of a very nice vibe to your entire park and areas in your park. Because what you do from time to time is divide areas, either using now of course this wall right here, the fossil wall, or the concrete wall, because you don't want to use this one the whole time, and this one you can also curve, so it's a bit more useful than the fossil wall. And also these ones have like this weird gap between them, so I still use both of them from time to time. And when I use these, they usually look not really that good in a park, but what you can do to blend them in a lot better into your park and create a nice cozy and overgrown aesthetic is to place these fluffy bushes behind the fence, and then a bit of them is gonna actually overlap onto the fence, and it's gonna basically look like an overgrown fence, which will add a lot of nice detail to your park, and again just make it feel more cozy and just tie into the whole vibe of your park a bit better. Now the next trick I've already shown on my channel, and that was in a sort of two-parter episode. Back in the day, it was like in some of my earliest videos when I was still building my tropical park, and I was really just getting the whole thing with YouTube and my channel figured out and starting to do voiceovers. But this trick is, in my opinion, a really nice one and something very special. So basically the whole idea of this trick is to create outdoor habitats for dinosaurs. Not outdoor habitats, of course we can do that already, but indoor habitats and also outdoor habitats in combination. Basically the idea is that this is somewhat similar to a reptile house or a monkey house you would maybe see in a zoo, where you have the animals that can go onto the inside, where you know, the aviary. For example, the Jwe2 that I used in my tropical park, it could go into the inside of the aviary and had a little habitat in here. But then it could also go on the outside, and basically the optical illusion that I used to achieve this look was to use these gates that I just placed down with the tour. Use the tour to create these gates, then delete the tour later, and these basically look like gates for the animals. Then you build a habitat with the desired species you want to build for on the outside, and then also put some of them on the inside, which you can of course do with the aviary hatchery glitch. I think most of you guys should know how it works. Basically you go to a regular hatchery, you go onto here, select the filter new, then you go onto a regular hatchery, select your species, go back onto here, and you can incubate it and let it hatch in here. Yeah, and I think that this trick usually, I don't really use it that much because I don't really see reason to keep the dinosaurs inside of an aviary. But I think with this trick, the outdoor and indoor habitat in combination, I think it looks really cool. So yeah, that's what I like to use the hatchery trick for. Now this last trick I have previously shown in a YouTube short on my channel and also in one of my videos, but that probably didn't explain it that well, that video and YouTube short. Probably not all of you have seen it, so I want to spread this trick a little further. And that is, you can actually make sauropods drink over fences, you could say, in this game. That was a possibility you could do in the first game, where you could just have water on the outside of the habitat, and the sauropods would drink over the fence and bend their neck over it, and would look really cool and be like a very nice attraction. You can still actually do the same trick in this game. So you're just gonna pick like a lower barrier, for example the mortar wall, but if you don't have the DLC, that could also work probably with the container. I haven't tried it, but it should work. And then also maybe the rocks. And then the most important step, after of course placing the water, is when you create the habitat. I'm just gonna do a random shape right here. This is not gonna work right now, because in this game there's actually a territory system with the dinosaurs that basically makes them create like an area, their territory, and then they can only use what's in their territory. Basically that's how it works. So if this was a closed habitat, all of this would be their territory, because it doesn't go through fences and these walls. But if you create, if you change one area of the barrier, ideally close to the water, to rocks, this can be created in different ways. You can incorporate these rocks, into your park however you want. But if you do this, because the rocks are meant to be placed inside of the habitats, they don't block the habitat creation, like the creation of the virtual map of its habitat of the dinosaur. The whole habitat area will actually go through these rocks right here and claim the water. So the dinosaurs think this water is in their habitat. They will go over here and drink over this fence because it's a low enough barrier for them. And this fence, for example, is too high. In the previous game we had like different lower fences, so it worked with those lower fences, but now if we use the multi worlds, they will be able to drink over this and it will look pretty cool and just add a nice detail to your park. Then you can, for example, have a path right here that will go close to the water, and then the guests, they can walk right here and have like a nice moment where the sauropods drink over this barrier super close to them. Here's a little bit of cinematic footage from one of my builds in my tropical park where I used this trick so you guys can see how it looks in action. So yeah, with that we've already seen the last build tag in this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing all of these 5 build tags and you're gonna be able to find good uses for them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next episode where we'll be finishing Evergreen Park. Bye bye.